Alright my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and in today's video I'm going to be continuing the series at the channel where I highlight a handful of my favorite builds to use in the game. Recently some of you have reached out asking me to put together a Pestilence build. That's exactly what you're getting today. And as we make our way into the build breakdown, do me a favor, let me know in the comments section, would you like to see these build videos with or without the global modifier? A lot of people reach out saying they'd like them turned off, that way they can see what the build can do regardless of when you may see this video. But again, please let me know your thoughts and we'll go from there. Now as always, we're going to jump right into the build breakdown, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button, it truly helps the channel out. And if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now starting with the specialization, you can see we're using Gunner, and I'm using that for a bunch of different reasons, my friends. First of all, you're going to get some extra armor on kill, you get a reload speed increase. I also like the fact that I can use the Banshee Pulse with this version of the build. This specialization also gives you a rate of fire increase. You also get some extra weapon handling when you are motionless for more than 1 second. And always remember, regardless of the specialization you choose, have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now my primary weapon for this build is the Pestilence, and over the last 4 or 5 months, this has become one of my go-to weapons in the game. It is in the general loot pool, so I recommend hitting up Countdown, set your targeted loot to LMGs. The reason it's so effective is because of its talent Plague of the Outcast. It's applied a buff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. The stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, 100% of the stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. This gun is an absolute monster, and as you've heard me mention in previous videos, in my opinion, this is one of the best exotic weapons in the game. As far as the secondary and sidearm is concerned, totally up to you, dealer's choice, use whatever you want. Now moving on to the gear itself, you can see I'm running 3 Langmo, 1 Petrov, 1 Overlord, and the Coyote's Mask, which is what we're starting with. Now this has the Talent Pack Instinct, where you and all your allies are going to gain a crit hit chance and or crit hit damage bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. This is a fantastic mask to use whether you're running solo or in a group. And as we continue on, I want to remind you that every single piece of gear I'm wearing in this build can be found in the general loot pool, and I will talk about that a little bit more at the end of the build breakdown. Now moving on to the body armor, it's the first of 3 pieces of Langmo, and the reason we're running 3 is because we are targeting that 3rd brand set bonus, which is 30% LMG damage. You'll also notice I'm running the talent Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. One of the best talents in the game. Next, my fellow agents, we have the holster. That is the 2nd piece of Langmo. And as we continue, I'd like to also point out the fact that some pieces in this build, like the holster, are not maxed out as yet. So always remember, even as you're trying to put together the perfect build, you can put something together in the meantime that can still get the job done. Next, we have the knee pads. They are the Fox's Prayer. We're running these for that middle attribute, 8% damage to targets out of cover. Next, we have the Contractor's Gloves, the 1 piece of Petrov that gives us 10% LMG damage bonus, but the main reason we are using these is for that middle attribute, 8% damage to armor. Last but not least, we have the Backbone Backpack. This is the 3rd and final piece of the Langmo brand set. It has the talent Perfectly Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 7% for 15 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. And for those of you out there who have been following this channel, you know I've been looking for this version of the bag for a very long time. Finally got it the other day, so obviously I wanted to bring you a build really quick. As far as my skills are concerned, I'm using the Banshee Pulse, and I'm either going to use the Assault Drone or the Defender Drone, depending on if I'm running solo or in a group. In the gameplay footage, you'll see me using the Defender. It does, kind of come in handy here and there. When we take a look at the numbers, you can see I'm sitting at 42.7 crit hit chance, 126.7 crit hit damage. Remember, this is without any global modifiers, and the numbers you're looking at are without any of the bonuses running on Coyote's Mask. And the last thing I'd like to mention, and I say this in every build video I put together, always remember this is just a template. One thing I talk about here at the channel is that you want to try out different variations. I am running Obliterate on the chest. Another really popular version is Glass Cannon because it puts out a shit ton of damage. It really does. And remember, this is not the hardest hitting build out there. But one thing I try to do here at the channel is highlight builds I use on the regular basis that work for me. Hopefully this helps you out, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. As always, I'd like to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. Happy Friday to everyone out there. What are your plans this weekend? I got to get a bunch of stuff done around the house. But other than that, you know, just looking forward to hopefully relaxing. Ooh, a trash panda. Oh, I got distracted by the flora and fauna. Anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, you know, you heard me say this in the video earlier. The most important thing when it comes to any build in the game is to take your time, make it your own. You may want more armor, you may want less, you may like one talent, not like another. Because one thing I hear from a lot of players, especially who are new and just returning, is you're saying, you know what, I saw a build online, I copied it exactly. It does not work for me the way it does for that person. That's because every person plays differently, you know, and not only that, you want to pay attention to the actual gameplay you're looking at. Are they running solo? Do they happen to be in a group? Are they just doing crowd control, covering a door? So again, pay attention to those details because it could help you figure out exactly why your build may not be functioning the way you want it to. Last but not least, yesterday I did post a video at the channel talking about some of the best named items in the game and how to get them. If you missed that, you will find a link to it in the video description down below. And that's all I got for this video, my friends. Thank you once again for everything. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next one.
Detected.
Could do it.
Civilians in danger.
Thank you. That was a hell of a boost you gave us. Thank you.
Supply room access
Yeah.
unlocked.
Please, Gap will be